Welcome to the 2022 State of the City. How about if we give a round of applause for Ben and Susan Bunsel? The music out there, wasn't that awesome? That was just fantastic. Tonight we got a neat program to tell you a little bit about what's been going on in the city. But what I want to do to start with a little bit is introduce some people that are here today, because we're really fortunate to have the various areas of people that we collaborate with year-round here tonight. But the reason we're here tonight is because one of my requirements as city manager is in the first quarter of each year is to provide the state of the city to City Council. And tonight, I'd like to introduce City Council. We have our President of City Council, Mayor Mark Reams. We have our Vice President of Council and Vice Mayor, Hank Burby. There's Hank. We also have Donald Berger here, Deb Grote, J.R. Roush, and Alan Seymour. And I wanted to just thank them and we'll repeatedly do that tonight, for what they do to set the table for our administration and our staff to attempt to carry out their plan. We've got others here tonight, and one individual I want to recognize is Floyd Golden. And Floyd, I've got lights, please stand up. Floyd just retired as our police chief. 17 years as our police chief. And Floyd, thank you for being here tonight. Really appreciate it. We have Judge Parrott here tonight. Judge has been an awesome partner to the city. And Judge, would you please stand? Thank you, Judge. Thanks for being here. Our state representative, Tracy Richardson, I know she was here. I think, are you still here, Tracy? She had to leave, but I know she made her rounds, and we appreciate all the support she provides us. We have our county sheriff, Jamie Patton, here tonight. Jamie, please stand. There he is. Good deal. We have our county commissioner, Chris Schmink, here tonight. Chris, thank you, Chris, for being here. And we do have Tim Hansley could not be here tonight, who's the county administrator, and will be retiring in June. But we do have Bill Narducci, who will be the county administrator starting in June. Bill, do you mind standing up so everybody recognizes you? Thank you. We have a representative from Drone Township here tonight, Wesleyan Davis. Wesleyan, can you please stand up? Thank you. And another group that we collaborate with a lot is with the Marysville Schools. And the Marysville School Board members here tonight, Sue Devine. Sue, please stand. Dick Smith, I think Dick's here. Jermaine Ferguson, I believe Jermaine's here, thanks. Is Nan here? Maybe not. Okay. The reason I wanted to point a lot of people out tonight is because, and I probably missed somebody, and I apologize if we've missed somebody tonight, but we just want to thank you for all that you do working with the city year-round, because we couldn't accomplish what we accomplish without the collaboration and support that we get from all the entities. And you'll see that as a part of the State of the City tonight. So we'll go ahead and start moving in the direction of the program tonight. So what we're going to have this evening is about a 17-minute video that basically does what I think I need to do my obligation for City Council. So I'll be telling a little bit about the state of the city in this video, with fellow staffers. And that's another group I want to acknowledge. Anybody that works for the city of Marysville that's in here tonight, we have a lot of executive staff members, and everybody, will you please stand? Because they do just a fantastic job. Come on, you guys, stand up. You're all sitting in the back. Thank you. I did forget to introduce Mackenzie Proudfoot, our new council clerk. Mackenzie. So what we'll do is we'll kick off with a 17-minute video, and then when we come back, we'll bring a panel up on stage that'll really bring a lot of input to what you can see coming to Marysville in the coming years, and it's going to really be fun. So that's it. Enjoy the video. Welcome to the 2022 Marysville State of the City. Not only will we talk about what occurred in 2021, but also what's planned for 2022. A major focus for the city administration in 2021 was to increase our methods of communication and enhance public engagement. In 2021, we implemented a streaming software for city council meetings to provide citizens the option to watch meetings live online. These meetings are also archived and accessible to the public for on-demand viewing. The city also launched a monthly digital newsletter to help keep the community members informed. The e-newsletter includes information on city projects, events, programs, employment opportunities, and much more. We also designed a capital improvement plan interactive map to help keep residents informed about projects throughout the city. Residents can use the online map to access project information, follow construction progress, and help plan their commute. Also in 2021, the city conducted an aquatic study. As part of the aquatic study process, it was very important for us to engage the community and get their feedback. We held a series of public engagement forums and conducted an online survey in which we received a great amount of participation from our residents. We launched the Marysville Parking app, which provides real-time information on parking availability, space type, and parking time limits in the uptown area.
This past year marked the official opening of the 33 Smart Mobility Corridor. In September, dignitaries from around Ohio gathered to celebrate the completion of the installation of fiber and CAV testing equipment. 2021 was also a banner year for Connected Marysville as the final DSRC was installed in the city. This accomplishment attracted the OmniAir Consortium Ohio Plugfest, which conducted a day-long testing and showcase event in the uptown area. Additionally, work to market the Beta District to national audiences continued, resulting in the completion of a website, blog, and other collateral. These efforts have generated significant interest from smart mobility and automotive companies, academia, and researchers. Another great accomplishment in 2021 was the completion of the first speculative building in the 33 Innovation Park, which was a collaboration between many of our partners, Southgate Corporation, Jobs Ohio, and One Columbus. The developer, working closely with the city, received a $1.85 million Ohio Site Inventory Grant to offset over $10 million in development cost. As a result of this partnership, the building is fully leased, and we hope to start construction of a second speculative building in the 33 Innovation Park later this year. We are now working to design the Automotive and Mobility Innovation Center that will be located in the Southgate building in the 33 Innovation Park. It is a partnership with The Ohio State University. When completed later this year, AMIC will house an automotive incubator and collaborative space. AMIC will build on our foundation as automotive and technology hub and will generate significant contributions for these industries for many years to come.
2021 has been a year of change for the Marysville Police Division. As we navigated and continue to navigate a global pandemic, we were met with a string of events that have begun to reshape and reorganize the police division. From retirements of long-term staff members, realignment of the organization, and the hiring of many new faces, one word describes the Marysville Police Division in 2021: change. After 50 years of dedicated service to the citizens of Ohio, with 17 years as Marysville Chief of Police, Floyd Golden announced his retirement in mid-2021. One of the first tasks after being appointed as police chief was to review our organizational structure. The result of the review found a need to reorganize the organization. A structure of 2 deputy chiefs, 6 sergeants, and 3 corporals were transformed into 3 captains, 4 sergeants, and 6 corporals to provide for more integrated leadership opportunities and allow for more mentors to assist our less experienced staff as our division continues to grow. I believe these changes will improve communication and service both internally and externally. One exciting new program we began in 2021 is the Marysville Police Therapy Canine Program. While the program was delayed by the global pandemic, we were able to get it off the ground with the donation of a yellow lab in May of 2021. She was paired with Officer Amy Finley, and they immediately started working together. While Officer Finley is primarily assigned to the early college high school, she and Mercy continue to visit local schools throughout the school year. They have been a resource for victims and witnesses in Marysville Municipal Court, staff and students at Marysville School District, and visited many local skilled nursing and rehabilitation centers. As this program grows, we will continue to work with our patrol and investigative staff, along with other agencies in and around Union County, to allow Officer Finley and Mercy to respond to critical incidents. Mercy truly is a new tool to assist law enforcement and the community. She can bring some calmness to individuals during some of their most chaotic times and situations. The MPD family experienced a sudden loss in mid-2021. Our beloved police canine Bear passed away suddenly after a short battle with cancer. This was heartbreaking for the organization, the community, and most of all, Officer Dave Nist, Bear's handler and partner. Additionally, it's put the organization in an unfamiliar spot without a canine resource. After some conversation, Officer Nist selected a police dog that he strongly believed would be a great fit for MPD. Shortly thereafter, a Dutch Shepherd named Mido was purchased and shipped from the Netherlands on his first birthday, August 27, 2021. To date, Mido's biggest find has been 14 grams of cocaine and 5 stolen guns. Additionally, as part of that investigation, a stolen car and license plate were also recovered. Mido continues to make appearances at our local schools as well.
The Marysville Fire Division had an extremely busy 2021, with a 14% increase in calls for service. This resulted in a record 4,543 runs. We also performed 473 fire safety inspections of established businesses and 26 home inspections for our foster and adoption families in our community. Our community paramedic program maintained a robust pace with 169 patient interactions. This included 61 overdose follow-up calls offering free Narcan to patients and their families. We were grateful to provide an opportunity to Council President Mark Reams and several of the executive staff to become firefighters for a few hours this summer. This Field to Heat program has provided to participants the chance to see what it's like to perform basic fire and rescue operations in a controlled environment. In 2021, we continue to be a leader in the community response to COVID-19. We work diligently with our partners, the Union County Health Department, Memorial Health, and Union County Emergency Management Agency to provide testing and vaccination resources to all. As we look to 2022, we continue to be diligent in our response to COVID-19 with the goal of providing emergency services to our community and establishing a new normal.
Financially, 2021 was a prosperous year for the city. While the year started strong, concerns over how the ongoing pandemic would affect the financial health of the city weighed heavily on us. However, thanks to the city's diverse economy, local businesses committing significant resources to their employees and operations, continued support from federal and state governments, and the city staff operating effectively and efficiently, we ended the year better than we budgeted for at the beginning. The cash position of the city's enterprise or utility operating funds increased $6.7 million in total, from $43.5 million to $50.3 million. This was a 16% increase from 2020. These funds have allowed the city to continue planning and constructing numerous capital improvements and expansions to the city's utility system. These projects include, but are not limited to, a new water tower, pump stations, and new water treatment plant. In the city's governmental operating funds, the cash position improved from $19.3 million in 2020 to $24.3 million, a $4.9 million or 25% increase in 2021. This significant increase is due to increased income tax receipts and COVID-19 relief from the state and federal government. 2021 income tax collection receipts totaled $23.2 million, which is $2.2 million or 10.7% greater than the amount the city collected in 2020. This increase is the result of significant growth in net profit tax receipts paid by businesses in the city and withholding receipts from employers adding jobs or increasing pay for existing employees in 2021. The last item I would like to discuss is the continued impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the city's finances and relief the city received in 2021. While the city expended $1.5 million in relief from the CARES Act on various projects to enhance the city's infrastructure and safety service operations, the city received another $2.5 million from the American Rescue Plan Act to help the city continue its recovery from the pandemic. While city administration continues to develop the planned uses for these funds, the city is committed to using those funds in the same manner as the CARES funds, to improve city operations, to enhance services to the citizens of Marysville, and to position the city to be ready to face future challenges.
As part of a citywide initiative, the city continues to beautify highly traveled corridors within the city, similar to the recently completed West 5th Street and State Route 31 projects. These projects primarily focus on converting older roadways to current city standards, including concrete curbing and sidewalk, and an asphalt shared use path to promote active transportation. Examples of 2021 projects that fulfilled this goal include the recently completed projects on Columbus Avenue between Dunham Street and Clymer Road, and State Route 38 between Greenwood Boulevard and Collingwood Drive. The city was able to utilize TIF and OPWC funding to minimize the $3 million cost impact. In upcoming years, Maple Street between US 33 and Elwood Avenue between Maple Street and North Main Street, and East 5th Street between Walnut Street and Five Points are planned to be addressed. In 2021, the city conducted an aquatics study. The results of the aquatic study indicated that the existing Legion Pool facility, which is approximately 40 years old, does not have the room for expansion to meet the needs of our growing community. The preferred option by the community indicated the renovation of the current facility at Legion Park and the construction of a new, modern pool at another location is required to meet the needs and desires of the community. A modern pool includes zero entry, a splash pad, and a lazy river. The desire of the community is to create a municipal pool that continues to enhance and support the growing Marysville community while still preserving the history of the city.
As we move into 2022, you'll see new faces in new places. We anticipate the additional promotions in the coming years, which allows for the growth of individuals and the organization. You'll also notice a new look on some of our officers as we transition towards a new, more functional and ergonomic uniform in 2022. Based on initiative by some of our officers and in conjunction with our partners at Memorial Health, we believe this new uniform will lower healthcare costs by reducing long-term injuries from our traditional uniform and duty belt. This will result in a healthier officer, which correlates to increased performance and longevity. Finally, in 2022, MPD will be conducting a Community Needs and Expectations Survey for use as part of the Marysville Police Division Strategic Plan. This survey, along with an internal survey, will help identify current and future needs of the division and allow for us to incorporate those needs and expectations into the City of Marysville Strategic Plan. It is an exciting time to be part of Marysville PD.
The biggest project for the city this year is the construction of the new water treatment plant facility on Raymond Road, which is actually right across from our reservoir. The project started in July of 2020 and will be finalized during the fall of 22. The budget for this project is $45 million. This project will replace the existing 1890s facility that is nearing the end of its useful life. The new water treatment plant, which will use both groundwater from wells and surface water from Mill Creek via the reservoir, will provide improved water quality for our current customers and an easier to manage, more efficient process for our employees while providing the additional capacity necessary to handle the growth within the city. Our capacity will be nearly doubled to 7.5 million gallons a day. This new facility will also provide our water department with the flexibility to be able to meet any future Ohio EPA requirements. Another big focus for the city in 2022 is utility growth. As the primary water and wastewater provider for Union County, primarily in Jerome Township, the southeastern corner of Union County down to Post Road, the city is responsible for the planning of our utility infrastructure for both our existing and future customers. Due to the unprecedented growth of this area and all of Union County, the city must ensure the existing infrastructure can handle the planned impact on our utility system. To meet this demand, the city is constructing a water tower in Jerome Township, which is currently invisible from US 33. This water tower will provide redundancy for our water system while adding capacity and pressure for this quickly growing area. This project started in late summer 2021 and is expected to be completed in the fall. Another project planned on our wastewater system is a pump station project to be located on Watkins Road, just south of the adjacent multifamily units along US 33. This project will remove several pump stations and a poorly located force main that's currently located along Mill Creek. This $15 million project will provide wastewater capacity for the future and sewer depth to service approximately 1,500 acres for future growth on the east side of the city. This project is expected to start in the spring/summer of 22 and will be completed by the end of 23.
Looking ahead, we have a lot of great projects planned for 2022. Completion of the new water plant, which includes decommissioning the 1894 plant. Uptown Alley improvements. We have selected a contractor for this project and hope to have it completed by Memorial Day. This will serve as a pilot project to help us plan for improvements in other uptown alleyways moving forward. A traffic signal will be installed at the intersection of Coleman's Crossing and Industrial Parkway, which will be a major safety improvement to that intersection. City Council has authorized us to spend $2 million for the annual paving program, which allows us to be aggressive in continuing to improve the condition of our streets throughout Marysville. We will also begin the design work for some major projects in 2022, including the 5 Points intersection, the Reservoir Connector Bridge connecting the Jim Simmons Trail to the Upground Reservoir, Elwood Avenue improvements, as well as the State Route 31 Phase 3, which will include the section south of State Route 33. I'd like to close by thanking City Council for their continued support, as well as all city staff for the professionalism and the quality work they provide our citizens. If I could, I'd ask our panelists now. Sarah, you may need to lead them up through the area here. And I think as William Murdoch made it. Everybody, we've got William Murdoch, the Executive Director for MORPC here tonight. Thank you, William, for being here. One of the things I wanted to mention while they're getting in their place, and then I'll eventually join them, is we transitioned, what the state of the city used to be. It used to be the mayor reading our annual report at a city council meeting, and it would be about a 45-minute plus or minus read. And we just thought back in the transition, when we transitioned the count to the city manager form of government, that we could make the state of the city a little more interacting. And so we began doing that in 2016 and then 2017 as well. And then in 2018, we decided to take the State of the City on the road. And if you remember, thanks to the Marysville schools, we had our first road trip on the State of the City at Marysville High School, at the STEM school. The next year, 2019, we took the State of the City to Scott's, and we had a Scott's Miracle Grow. Then in 2020, we were interested in and had it all scheduled and planned to go to URE in 2020. And of course, in March of 2020, do you all remember what kind of occurred? You know, we entered into the pandemic. So we shifted to just doing a video for the State of the City that year, with hopes that we could take our State of the City then to Memorial Hospital in 2021. Well, we couldn't do that. You know, we were still functioning within the pandemic. And so tonight, it's just awesome that we're able to bring the State of the City back in a beautiful place like the Avalon. So that's it. Will this mic work as I walk back here? So we're going to ask the panel some questions here. And I'm going to start with Sarah Barr. And Sarah has just been, I don't know if there could have been a better person to take this Avalon and put it together. She had to battle a lot of things. Can we give Sarah Barr a hand for the work that she had to do? And so I thought tonight, Sarah, and there's a lot of people that helped you along the way, that if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about the Avalon, how it's made up, board members, things like that. So I'll just turn it over to you to tell us a little bit about the Avalon.
So first, I want to, if I could, recognize and thank the architects and contractors who worked on the Avalon. So if OHM advisors could please stand, as well as Marker Construction, that would be fantastic, because it wouldn't happen without you guys. I think it was a collaborative effort of bringing a vision and a mission together, and here we sit tonight, and it's amazing. So thank you very much. So who is the Avalon Theater? The Avalon Theater is a standalone charitable 501c3 nonprofit organization. The Avalon is governed by a volunteer working board of directors, and many of those directors are in the audience tonight. I made a list so I didn't forget. So our president is Bruce Daniels, sitting beside me here. Jesse Landon, vice president. Chad Hibbs, treasurer. Susan Bunsold-Wilson, who you heard in the lobby, our secretary. Jason Russell, Mike Aquillo, Megan McCarthy-Collins, David Dodds, Dennis Schultz, Pam Klaus, Jason Holbach, Barbara Luke, and Tim Schott. It is very important that the Avalon Theater has representation from all community sectors, not just the arts and business, but all community sectors. And so we ask our board of directors to serve 2 consecutive 3-year terms, and they do a great job, and they work, and we wouldn't be here today without each and every one of them and their skills and talents.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, for clarifying some of those. Now, can you tell us a little bit about, now that the Avalon's up and running, can you tell us a little bit about programming and how that's going to work here in the coming months?
So we will host many cultural arts activities throughout the year, and these activities will include movies, live stage performances, comedy acts, speaker series, concerts, and much, much more. Each performance will take to our stage and will represent our mission and vision to be the premier entertainment outlet for Union County and beyond, and provide quality cultural arts activities that will entertain, educate, and enrich the patrons that come through our doors.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. One thing I'd like to do before we move on to another panelist here is, on behalf of a thankful community, we'd want to thank you and the board for all your hard work in bringing the Avalon Theater back to Marysville. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to shift to maybe William Murdoch. We're really fortunate tonight to have William here. The Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission, and I'll let William tell you a little bit about Morpsey, because it has grown incredibly over the last few years. And maybe I'll just start there, William. Tell everybody about Morpsey and how many communities and entities you have as a part of Morpsey today.
Thanks, Terry, and thanks, everybody, and just kudos again on this beautiful facility. So we're the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission. We like to joke, our friends just call us Morpsey. We serve all of Central Ohio. We work with local governments and regional organizations to try to knit together that conversation about how do we get ready for growth, how do we handle big issues like housing, how do we invest in transportation and infrastructure. Terry, to your point, Central Ohio is growing. We've got 15 counties that we work with, and at Morpsey, we actually work with 78 communities. Marysville and Union County are very important, and Jerome Township, and I could start naming, they're all engaged in this regional conversation about how do we make this place better and how do we lift up each community as well.
William, a question that, of course, it's recently come up, and of course, Morpsey has had growth projections from a couple years ago. But how does the recent Intel announcement impact the housing and workforce markets in the region, and how does that change some of those numbers that Morpsey estimated just a couple years ago?
Thanks for the question. What an incredible statement on Central Ohio. This level of investment and these number of jobs and this high quality employer pick us as a region. I mean, just pause for a second there. We're talking about to start a $20 billion investment, thousands and thousands of very high paying jobs. And what comes next are the suppliers and additional investment. It could be up to $100 billion. These are big, big numbers. And it's really fun, Terry, to be sitting in Marysville, because you've all seen this before. When you think of the impact that Honda's had over the last few decades, this is maybe the next evolution of the region. So when we think about that impact, it may seem, well, maybe that's just on the other side of Central Ohio. You're within that hour radius, all of Union County is. That means you're going to be a desirable place either for housing, maybe suppliers, but also your folks, your residents here, your students are going to be thinking about what are my options, and they're going to be thinking about jobs at Intel. To Terry's point, this region has grown really quickly. We've added 250,000 people throughout the region in just the last 10 years. We've been working on getting ready for this growth, of being a region of 3 million people by 2050. With this kind of investment, that means all of those things we've been planning for, how to get in front of housing, how to have the workforce we need, how to have the infrastructure we need, those conversations need to happen a little bit faster, and we may need to make those investments a little bit sooner than we were planning. But it doesn't change the underlying dynamics. This is a growing place. People want to be here. They want to invest here. We got to get in front of that. And I think housing, infrastructure, workforce, these are the issues of our day, but these are good issues to have. We'd much rather be in this situation.
So I'm just going to put you on the spot. You answered it a little bit there. How is Marysville positioned right now, William, moving forward with the anticipated growth? How do you think, you know us a little bit, how do you feel we're positioned?
Yeah, well, we know you really well, Terry, because you know our former chairperson is sitting at the end of the row there with Eric Phillips and the great job he's done there. You should all feel blessed. And I mean this from Terry and the city leadership to the county leadership to the city council and the administration. When we think about what's happening on the other side of the region and how they get ready for that, we say, look, you got to talk to Marysville. You got to look at how they've prepared their infrastructure, their water, their sewer, how they're tackling economic development and the spinoff of Honda, how they're having real discussions about how to grow housing while improving your quality of life and adding amenities while doubling down on that character that makes Marysville so special. And I know I'm sitting up here on the beautiful new theater in Marysville, but this is something that we tell people over and over again. You need to look at that Marysville example as a way to get ready for things. And if I can just offer the advice is keep doing that and keep doing things that are maybe difficult discussions about growth. Like, how are you gonna make sure that you can accommodate additional growth in a way that reinforces your character? How are you gonna provide housing, not just for these hypothetical people moving in for these jobs for Honda or Intel, but how are you gonna provide the housing that your kids are gonna need when they wanna stay in Marysville and work at Honda or work at Intel? How are you gonna make sure you've got housing so that when you retire, you can continue to take advantage of the new pools and the new parks and the new trails too? That's really the challenge, but gosh, Terry, Marysville's had an incredible head start here. It's really impressive.
Thank you, William.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Of course, yeah.
So appreciate it. I'm going to shift to Luke Stedke for a second. And Luke is the Director of Communication and Policy with Drive Ohio. And Luke, of course, Marysville's been going through a process of, well, becoming the first fully connected city in the country. And Drive Ohio has been a key partner in that process. And so I'm going to ask you a couple things here. Can you tell us about Drive Ohio first and how you are collaborating with the city for the Connected Marysville project?
Sure. And first of all, thank you, Terry, and the team here at Marysville. It is a fantastic facility. I heard you say, like, I can't wait to see Hamilton in this at some point in the near future. So Drive Ohio. So we are part of the Ohio Department of Transportation. We work on behalf of the DeWine Houston administration, focused on 4 key areas: automated, connected, electric, and then what we would consider advanced air mobility. That includes drones and just that next evolution of flight, mostly electric. So the electric piece has really come on a lot stronger over the last 24 months. And what we do is we try to partner. Of course, partnership is a word that everybody talks about. We partner with communities, institutions, corporations that have solutions to solve problems. We want travel to be more efficient. We want it to be safer. And we think by developing and scaling these technologies, we can do both, while at the same time building the 21st century mobility economy for Ohioans, not only in Central Ohio, but across the state.
Awesome. How do you think Marysville has benefited from being the first fully connected city, and how does that position Marysville in the future, do you think?
That's a really good question. I will say this, meeting with local communities across the United States, you are the envy of municipalities your side, the world over. What you have here, innovative leadership, partnership with corporations, academia, government, nonprofits, a unified vision around innovation and next generation economic development is to bookend what William said, you're at a huge advantage when it comes to the advancement of manufacturing and technology, because you need to be in the conversation now to be able 5 to 10 years to really reap the rewards of it.
And one last question. Can you give your prediction for AV, CV, autonomous and connected vehicle technology and capabilities over the next 2 to 5 years? What are we going to be seeing? What's on the horizon?
Well, you've got Honda here in town, right? And what we've seen on the AV and the CV side is just amazing. I also want to pick up on something what William said about Intel. Intel not only is going to make their own chips, they're also going to be a foundry. And one of the companies that they just split off, Mobileye Technology, specifically does automated machine work. So it's just going to make all of our, whether it's supply chain, whether it's technologically based, wafer, chip-based manufacturing, it's going to put Central Ohio specifically in the top 4 spots, no matter what anybody else does. That's the first point. The second point is we're going to see, with the evolution and the maturation of electric, we say EV is AV. Electric vehicles are going to help spur the development of autonomous vehicles. And with, Eric's going to talk more about it, I'm sure, but the 33 Smart Mobility Corridor, to have the world's most connected highway in your backyard with the TRC and with Ohio State OSU car, the future is very bright for Marysville and Central Ohio.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
No, it's beautiful. I'm telling you, Hamilton. I'll be the first one to buy.
Eric, I'm going to shift over to you. I think he kind of led to you. Eric and I were talking just a little bit ago, and Eric made a comment. This has been a busy week, a very busy week. And Eric said, in all his years here in Marysville, this may have been his busiest week. Am I correct there, Eric?
21 years, yes, the busiest week ever.
We've had company visits almost every day. People are really, really interested in Marysville. But let me go to my first question to you a little bit. How has the recent interest been with companies looking to locate in and around Marysville, and why Marysville? What has been the key attraction?
Well, first, everyone on this panel, all of you are partners, and you've really made a difference, and it's because of you all and your work and the partnerships you have with us has actually made a lot of this happen. So thank you for all that you've done to support Marysville and the community. We live in a very special place. We have a community that's growing. I grew up in Scioto County, Portsmouth, and it's the exact opposite. But to see this growth here is just remarkable. And to see the community that actually embraces businesses, they want more businesses to locate here. It's just a huge, a great environment. And so when companies come here, and if we get a company here to visit, we have a good shot at getting them. And so when you have those company visits, it's really important for us to put on the best show possible. Jeremy Hoyt, the service director, when Peloton, we were second place. Sometimes it's good to come second place. When Peloton came here, Jeremy Hoyt, the service director, and I spent Sunday afternoon and we actually picked up trash along US 33. There wasn't a whole lot, but there was enough that we wanted to make the city to look great. And again, everyone worked together on that visit, and it requires everyone to come together. But again, to the point to Terry's question is, the key is we have great schools. That's one great factor. And the great partnership that we have with the school district, we have a STEM school that's remarkable, second to none, 4 pathways. We have a business community that's growing, and we have a workforce that's growing. And I think those are all key factors in why Marysville is a great place to live and work.
Hey, Eric, you've really developed a good team that works with you in your office, and I think are both of them here tonight? At least, can you tell us a little bit about some of your team and introduce them maybe tonight and let them stand up?
I know Savannah's here. I think Jason is there. I see a wave. It's hard to see everyone with these lights, but Savannah, I think Jason as well. But they do a great job, and I drove them crazy this week. I think I also drove the engineering department crazy this week as well. But they got a lot of information together at a very last minute, and we appreciate the partnership. But Savannah and Jason do a great job in supporting and actually getting project leads submitted and information together. So they do a fantastic job.
Yeah, thank you. Can we give them an applause so you guys say that? It's really, really good. Kind of dovetailing, we've heard this a little bit, but Eric, I'd like your thoughts. How do you think the Intel project in New Albany will impact Marysville and the 33 Smart Mobility Corridor?
I think there's a lot of possibilities. I think Intel is a catalyst. We had the first Intel, and that's called Honda, right? And in the region, Honda's invested over $6 billion in Union County, $6 billion. Over $10 billion in the state of Ohio, so it's pretty remarkable to see Honda and what the impact they've had to us. But there's a clear-cut connection between Intel and the microchip and the need in all the vehicles, because cars are going to require more microchips, not less. And so there's that natural connection. And furthermore, with all the work that Drive Ohio and all the great work that Luke and the people at Drive Ohio do with the autonomous connected vehicle, we're going to see more likeliness of seeing connectivity between the two industries. The other thing is it's 45 minutes away, and so there's going to be a lot of suppliers. And a lot of times when a new company comes in, a lot of the suppliers are going to want to be a good distance away from that location. We all understand that because Honda wanted all their suppliers when they first came here to be 25 miles away. So there's great opportunities for us for new suppliers to locate here. We actually already have activity in that area, so let's hope we land some of those.
Okay, so one of these visits have been maybe a little bit tied toward Intel. Can you give us a little secret?
Some of the activity we're seeing now is tied to Intel, which is already happening, which is really cool.
Awesome. Eric, thanks for everything you do. And can we give Eric again a round of applause for his work? Okay, you guys, we have Bruce Daniels here tonight. Of course, he's the dealer principal for Honda Marysville, and I don't need to really say a whole heck of a lot, but Bruce is pretty darn passionate about Marysville and what Marysville means to him, and I'm going to throw a couple questions at you here, Bruce, and you have made so many investments in our community over the years. Talk about some of your recent investments, projects that you've had, and tell us why you continue to choose Marysville.
Well, I guess the first one would be the one we're sitting in, right, Sarah? Very, very excited about the Avalon. I think that the biggest reason I'm so excited about the Avalon, and this goes way, way back, I think Steve Stolte's here tonight. I don't know if Dennis, but we met at is it Joe's Place, Goodies over here. How many breakfasts, or how many years ago, and how many breakfasts we had, and this dream to be able to bring back the Avalon. But it since has evolved, and with Sarah and our entire team and our entire community, it's really exciting, because not only are we going to bring the movies back, which, right, that's what it started, but the arts, the music, the things that really, somebody mentioned before, the quality of life. If I had to sum up whatever I end up saying in the next 5 minutes, the true deep down heart and soul for me, or desire to invest or be committed, is because of the quality of life that I've received and how much has changed since I got here. I got here in, excuse me, it's probably one of the kids. Yeah, it is. In 2005, you know, some of you may or may not know, I was from Cincinnati. And I was coming into an area that's completely unknown for me, scared to death, right? As every penny that I'd ever made in my life would go, and Honda's kind of not a real high risk, you know, when you got Honda in Marysville, Ohio, but nonetheless, it was still scary. But coming in here, and something I want to share with everybody tonight is that I feel that Union County has, that is by far heads and above, way farther out, better, not to be critical of anyone, any other community or any other county, but it's the culture, right? It's the culture of giving. And we've always, at Honda Marysville, we started our business with what, you know, it's a small, at that time, it was a small town, smaller town, not small, but smaller, right? And we said, we just got to make everybody feel unique, special, and one of a kind. That is the goal. If you don't do anything else today, the people you meet, right, and the people that you serve, even though there's going to be challenges, just make sure that you make them, do everything you can to make them feel that way. Well, it truly was how Marysville received me as an individual. When I came here, I went to the chamber first. Eric will remember, we made the Goofy film and everything with Rick, but the community was made me feel unique, special, and one of a kind. And I think that's obviously Avalon's going to do that. It's going to have speaker series. We just had Dan Rooney here. Some of you may have experienced. That was, I thought, very impactful. We're going to do many, many more of those, because it's life-changing. It gets into the heart and the soul of people, and has them see what's positive and what's so good about this world and what we can do with it. That's right. So I'm not even off to Avalon yet. I better hustle up here a little bit, huh? But the Avalon is truly, to me, will end up being, it's starting to be, but will evolve into the centerpiece of who we are, right? We always talk in business. What do? We sell and we service cars. That's what we do. Or we serve food, or we do whatever we do. But that's second, right, to who we are. And that's what I think Union County, and I'm not saying this to blow smoke at my friends in this room. I'm saying its culture is first. Its open-mindedness is first. We We don't always agree, right, sometimes. And by the way, thanks again, too, like Eric said, for city council for putting up with all of our crap. But when we go there, and anywhere you go to city, everybody has an open mind that wants to see what's right for others. It's not a self-centered thing, right? Everyone wants to do what's right for other people, and I'm hoping, my hope and dream that this establishment right here will be the things that teach those principles, those things that have, you know, does that make any sense? So this one was more than worthwhile, and will continue to be. We got some challenges ahead, right, Sarah? I mean, we got some challenges. We all do, but that's fine. I mean, that's just the way life works, and we'll overcome them, and this will be a destination place for sure. So try to speed it up a little bit. The Leon's Garage, we're putting a music venue. It's coming together. We have about another 60, 90 days before it's full go, right, and doing its thing. And we've got some parking. By the way, your parking is working. So we had is it okay to get off track for just a second?
You can, certainly.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, no, but so we had QFM 96 was there last Thursday, and I was scared to death, right? Because supposedly there was going to be 400 or 500 people show up for this competition of bands, right? And I'm thinking, man, what are we going to do, right? That's a lot of people. And sure enough, it was over 500. And I parked. Here's one other project. We bought the place off of 4th Street where we're going to put like 72 parking spaces and eventually a brewery over there or something like that. But I had to park in the back by not to the river, but almost to the river where the gravel is over there, which I hope is not contaminated, but it's back over that way. And I had to walk all the way to Leon's there's cars, people, everything everywhere, right? I go in there, I'm like, the first thing that's gonna happen is I'm gonna have a half a dozen people or a dozen people come up to me and chew myself out because they had no place to park, right? And I'm telling you, nobody said one thing. So your parking must be working. Because why wouldn't somebody complain, right? Nobody complained, it works. So now we're gonna add 72 more over there. I think that'll help out. So we've got that project, and then what else am I forgetting here is
Honda Marysville.
Honda Marysville. So yeah, the one that brought us here, right? So Honda Marysville probably pretty crazy actually. It has 3 phases to it. What you're seeing going up right now is phase 1. And I apologize, we're about 3 years late on that. I think maybe we could have been a year quicker, and then the COVID came in, and it seemed like it threw all of us, and especially all of us at Honda Marysville, threw us a major curveball and threw us off track because our business is growing so fast. So you have people coming to Marysville for all kinds of different things, and our business grew. Our service department became where we had 10 pounds of you-know-what in a 2-pound bag, and it's a wonderful problem to have, growth in the community, right, or growth in business. But the other thing is we've been talking lately. So we need to act and be the same as we were in 2005, right? So you've got to get that space and that customer experience the same. It has to be that one-on-one, right? It has to be the Kelly Kramers or the Corey Carrolls or the Bruce, whatever. It has to stay little. I think that's a challenge for us as a community. You want the growth, you want the development, but there's a lot of great people in this room that govern and keep us in check with. You want to keep it small at the same time. It doesn't make any darn sense what I'm saying right now, but
It does.
To me, it's with a consumer or a person, an individual. It's still one person at a time. It's still one communication or relationship at a time. And so we're going to work hard, and I apologize publicly for the growth being a little quicker than we thought, right? Closer than we thought, right? But so the phase 2 and the phase 3. Here's something that's exciting. I think you'd be very proud of. Should be very, very proud of. There's just under 1,400 Honda automobile franchise dealers in the United States. Honda Marysville has now moved into the 11th largest in that spot. And you'll think this is crazy, but we're putting quite a few bucks into that. There's 3 phases. It won't even look anything like it does now in about 18 months from now. But we're gonna go a little cuckoo and a little crazy with it, and we're gonna try to take it to #1 in the United States right here in Union County. So.
Bruce, one other thing I'm gonna want to throw at you. In your opinion, what do we need to do to position the city of Marysville to be successful moving forward?
I think it's like our business, just in my opinion, is we have a cultural playbook, and it's only got 12 items on it, 12 kind of codes or areas of conduct or whatever. One of it's appreciating the value of others, right? There's a few different things that we measure on there, but it's not a lot. And that, to me, and I'm certain we will do it, but and maybe these new assets like the Avalon and our focus on how important culture is and always comes first before everything, right? It's just to stay open-minded, but definitely appreciate the people that you have, right? Probably shouldn't bring this up. I'll bring it up anyway without mentioning names, but I get, as you know, we're now at 6 other locations around Central Ohio, and a little community stuff here and there, but not near as much as we do here. But a meeting that I went to in another county was talking about Intel. And they were upset because Intel, looking at them, they're all upset, the county, the city, and there were all these officials there, and they were upset about it. And one of the folks got up and said, and it was New Albany, right? I guess it's right? And they said something along the lines that New Albany, the reason that and I don't know if this is true or not, okay? This is just somebody's opinion.
William might know, so we're gonna.
What? Here we go. But they said the reason that Intel is in New Albany, and the reason that this all happened is because everyone in New Albany works together. They respect each other, they listen to each other, and they work as a team together. Well, that kind of sit hard with me in a good way, because that is, if you're going to describe Union County and my experiences with it, that's it. And to me, to manage the growth, right? So have the growth, which is a good thing, and to also keep it in check, which is staying little while you get bigger, if that even makes sense, right? It's about our choices to each other to say, hey, we are going to work together. It's, and somebody, you had mentioned before, I thank you for a nice compliment about investing. Why would you want to invest all that back in all these different things? It's a sure bet. Plus, if you think about it, whatever you give, whatever I give, what each and every one of us gives every day, is something that you receive from the very place you're giving it back to. So I'm pumped about where we're going. And are you guys going to Leon's later?
Well, I was going to announce that here in a second.
Okay, I didn't want to get ahead of it, but I was in Atlanta the last 2 days, and I promised my wife Shelby and the kids that I would be home for a late dinner. So I'm going to get a hold of Rick Crago.
Oh, they know.
Even though I can't join you, and I'm going to make sure that we have a little special treat up there for you, just in case you decide to stop by and celebrate.
While Bruce is on that, there is a kind of what we'll call an after party on the second floor of Leon's in the VIP area. So if you do have an opportunity after the State of the City tonight, if you want to continue socializing, we can meet on the second floor there at Leon's and continue the conversations. Thank you, Bruce. How about a round of applause for our panel up here tonight? Okay, I'm going to direct a question down into the audience here. Our president of council, Mark Reams, has been a councilman for the city for 25 years. Yeah, there you go, 25 years. You know, I think he started when he was like 10 or something, because he looks like he's like, but Mark has been here. He's seen a lot in 25 years. And in particular, he was very, very involved with, I know, the planning and the development of our water reclamation facility, our wastewater treatment plant, and things like that. And I just, you know, having heard the panelists tonight and stuff like that, with somebody that has that kind of experience, Mark, your thoughts. Did you ever anticipate Marysville being where we are today 25 years ago or during your time period?
So, thanks, Terry. I'm just going to step up this way to answer that. And Terry did give me a little bit of heads up that he was going to ask me a question. And I think the answer is like yes and no. I did expect these kinds of things to happen in Marysville. It's not exactly how I thought it would happen, though. And you know, it wasn't a straight line, you know, and things didn't go exactly as we thought they would. But 25 years later, you know, we are here, and, you know, we're seeing some of these things that, you know, I kind of anticipated. A lot of things changed. You know, we planned our wastewater plant, you know, at a time when the community growth was just skyrocketing, and we saw the projections, and we knew, you know, we had a choice. We could design it for, you know, what we thought the community was going to need then, or if we looked at the projections, and they continued along that path, we would have to start engineering a expansion on the wastewater treatment plant as soon as we finished building the wastewater treatment plant. So, you know, we decided, you know, council decided, well, let's look at both options. Let's look at building the bigger facility up front, or let's look at building the smaller one and expanding it later. And when we saw the cost difference, you know, we decided, you know, hey, you know, we're going to need that bigger capacity. So we bit the bullet. It wasn't that much more, and we committed to the larger facility. And then, you know, the recession hit and growth stopped, and, you know, it got a little rough there for a little while. But now we're positioned that I'm glad we did it, you know, because we have the capacity to serve not just the city, but the region. The water treatment plant, we actually started looking at the need for an expansion 20 years ago. You know, we knew we were at capacity, but, you know, we never quite got to where we were tripping the trigger. We started designing and engineering a new facility at least 2 or 3 times, you know, during this time. I was on the committee when we first started looking at the technology and the options we were going to use. And, you know, we found, you know, when growth slowed, you know, we found a way to get a little more capacity and just eke a little bit more out of what we had. And we bought some time, and now that growth has picked up, you know, we see it coming along. So, you know, it didn't go exactly as I thought it would, but we're here. You know, in terms of business development, I thought, you know, we were going to bring in, you know, like these employers with 250 employees and things like that, you know, I'm still hoping for that, you know, I'm still looking for that. But what I didn't see at the time was, you know, when we brought in the Honda dealership with 17 employees, right? You started with 17 employees, is that right? And now what do you have? So, and now we've got over 200 employees at Honda. So, you know, we do have that 200 employee business. It just didn't quite come the way I envisioned it would come. And I think a lot of times we don't see and we don't appreciate, you know, those small incremental changes because they happen so slowly. But, you know, I'm excited, you know, to see our parks projects. You know, we've got some exciting things that have been happening this last year and going on into the next couple of years. we've got a lot of things that we're doing to really, I think, enhance, the quality of life here in Marysville. Things for families to do. We've got great parks, and we've got some great plans that are going to just really take that to the next level. So I would say, yes, I expected these things, but it's not exactly how I thought it would happen. So thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Again, thank you for your 25 years, and I know we've got a few more that you're gonna do for us. We're kind of concluding tonight, but I did want to recognize one person tonight that was kind of the key individual of putting this program together, and that's Anna Kratauskas, who's our communication director. Anna, where are you? She pretty much put this whole thing together and across the board, and she's just a wonderful employee, and she's transitioned into the communication director role for the city and is just doing a fantastic job. So thank you again, Anna. Thank you very much. And with that, you guys, I think I'm going to close the program. Thank you for attending. Thanks for your collaboration and your partnerships, and we'll look forward to another fantastic year here in Marysville. Take care.